It's probably 12 years ago, I believe, most accurately. And I remember yourself and Patrick Bradshaw and some others from the church approached me about needs. What are the greatest needs? What did I see as the greatest need for the Waynesville community? And at that time, we had a good many walkers, and they traveled to a lot of different places. I began to see lots of unhealthy choices being made. I see them, hopping in cars with people I wasn't certain they knew as well as they should or might not be a legal guardian. I seen them hanging out in unhealthy ways at the library. I think there was just a lot of opportunity there for things to go horribly wrong. And so my request to all of you was, can you help us with after school?
Swing for the Kids was an idea that Michael and I had probably 6 or 7 years ago. It was a point in my life where I was very available for volunteering for the church. I noticed through conversations with Michael that there was a need for the program to be bigger. The vision from Michael and Matthew were much grander than what the program was at the time. I noticed that looking at where the funding was coming from, there was never going to be an opportunity to get as big as it even has today. And the goal for it is to continue to be a larger opportunity. It's a space where kids from the middle school can come up and be in a safe space. After school, doing homework with friends. I love the idea of the fact that it's not necessarily just for our church, it's for our community. And it goes back to why Allison and I decided to become part of this church, was because of how what the outreach was from the church. So.
I love watching the kids come in on the first day. They're really shy, especially the 6th graders. And then as you go through the months and you're with them, they start coming out of their shell. They start making jokes with you, kind of like just enjoying themselves more, and it's great to see them come out with their personality.
I really enjoy working with all kinds of kids, all grades, and I think middle school is like such a big milestone for these children, like being in middle school itself.
I worked at the after-school program because I went there when I was in middle school, and I really enjoyed it. So I got to high school, I needed a job, and I've always been good with younger kids, so I figured why not try it. It was fun, and I enjoyed helping everybody out and helping the kids.
So at first we didn't know who paid for this service or how things worked, and we were made aware that the whole thing is run through fundraising, and that's when we decided to get involved because, these days most families, both people have to work, and what are you going to do with your middle schooler for 2 or 3 hours every day? Who knows? So that's when we got involved and realized that if we needed it, that so many other families also needed this after-school thing, a great fun place that the kids, they have to want to go. It has to be fun, and it is, or else they wouldn't go.
At CDC, we believe in just supporting the communities that support us. We've been blessed with a lot of work here in Waynesville individually, and we try to just find, throughout our company, we have a lot of young families, both that live in Haywood and Buncombe counties. And, we just try to find causes to support in these communities that are in alignment with, things that we want to support. So it's, like I say, this lines up perfectly with our purpose. It's very, very direct. You can see immediate impact, day in, day out, and clearly, helps to meet an unmet need that was realized in the town of Waynesville.
Middle school is the lost years, and it's often everybody's like, oh, yay, they're out of elementary school, they're in middle school. That is not the time to hold back. That's the time that kids need interaction with adults, and that's when they need to be supervised. And so, it's a great resource that I could be talking to a parent that I know their kid walked the streets after school and say, "Hey, do you know about this at the church?" And you know, we'd get them in, and it did. It made a huge difference. And the more that it caught on, the more people wanted to come. I mean, we were having, you know, standing room only in the bus to come up, and oftentimes Steve would come back and get another group. So yeah, it did. It once it caught on that it was a great program, and then it was fun, and it definitely increased from the students.
It's great to see our middle schoolers who come from all areas of life get to experience staff that truly loves them and wants to see them grow and become young adults.
Both of my kids have had the benefit of working at in the after-school program that is benefited by Swing for the Kids. But in addition, my daughter, in her time during middle school, she was an active participant, if you will. But further than that, I've just heard from so many members of the community, whether they're involved at our church or may not be involved at our church at all, but just the impact that it's made for them. You know, having a good, safe place for kids to go after school, you know, have kind of camaraderie and just kind of an after-school family, if you will. And the things that have grown out of that has just been awesome to hear those stories, relationships that have been built, and it's really just blossomed.
I think that it's a place that the kids can come and just spend time together and like be themselves. And I think it's also like a safe place for them to go after school.
Probably just being home, like doing nothing. I really like here. All my friends come here. I brought a lot of my friends here basically. Yeah, I'd probably be doing nothing, being really bored.
If the after school didn't exist, I'd be like sleeping and eating too much. And
well, I would probably go up there and wait for my mom because this place is like the funnest place in the whole entire world. I mean, you get to do so much stuff with your friends and you get to hang out. So it's just boring without this place.
I hope the program continues to grow to fill the need in our community for childcare after school, kid care, I guess I should say, for that age group specifically where there is a gap.
I think like being able to get to know the children in a different perspective, especially when they're like being played for, playing games and being silly. I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much too, because I get to know these kids on a more personal level.
Many of our elementaries have after-school programs, and they're able to receive funding for that, and there's a way to secure those kids in a good, healthy environment after school. But that's not the case for middle school. There's really nothing, or was nothing at that time, that I could direct my kids to that I felt safe and confident that they were going to be in a good, healthy environment. And so lo and behold, here we are 12 years later, and I just can't say enough good things about First United Methodist, their work with the kids, our youth, at the middle school age. And they're, you know, the thing about it is, you know it's pretty good, but you don't know how good, because First United decided not to wait till things went horribly wrong. But I dare say our community could look far worse at this point in time, because it's such a critical age. They're making life choices, whether they realize it or not. Drug experimentation, sexual experimentation, all kinds of things at that very, very critical age. And so I sit here and say it's a great program and a huge service to the community, but we don't really even know how great that is, because we never had to endure what it would have been without it. So just my hat's off, kudos to the congregation and members and staff of First United Methodist for truly providing a community service to our kids.
Swing for the Kids tournament, I mean, we've got a Class A location in Waynesville Inn and Golf Club, just newly renovated. Fortunately, our firm, CDC, we had the benefit and privilege of participating in the redevelopment of that property. So in and to itself, it has grown, certainly. You know, I truly believe that it is well on its way to becoming one of the marquee golf tournaments in Western North Carolina. You know, conceivable maybe to grow it into, you know, a couple of days maybe, something like that. Could be, you know, not so out of reach. You know, and I even have aspirations, just because I follow golf fairly closely. You know, maybe we have somewhat of a soft pro-am at some point, you know, where we could get, you know, a good, maybe a really high-ranking amateur, or, you know, some pros to find their way here at some point. You know, bring some sense of celebrity to it, because I think it's a really big deal, and I think it's very easy to sell the purpose of what we're doing here with Swing for the Kids. And you know, while golf is just really the interface, it's really just all, you know, about bringing people together in support of a great cause.
You know, it would be wonderful if the after school program was big enough so that, you know, you had a cohort of, hey, today we're taking the sixth graders, all sixth graders, we're going to go do this off campus, you know, and then, you know, and you make those experiences age appropriate. You know, I mean, it would be great for the sixth graders to do something one day a week, the seventh graders, and then the eighth graders, just to get their cohort together, because, you know, oftentimes it's like, you know, hey, are you going today? And if, you know, that positive peer pressure would be really good if we could keep that going, because it does exist with the program. I heard kids, hey, I'm going, are you going? Oh yeah, I'll go. So it would be great if we could expand it to where we did, you know, some, I don't know, what could be some sort of off-site, just adventure just for this particular group, then that particular group.
With Matthew and Michael's vision, it's going to be incredibly large, the program itself. And so what I'd like to see for Swing for the Kids is have the ability to completely continue to fund the program as much as possible, if not every dollar. There's more staff members, there's more events happening, there's just more going on. And so as we build the after school program, obviously we need to build the Swing for Kids events as well. And so that's what our main goal is. And as we look towards the future, I know we'll have more opportunities with golf courses, as well as the Waynesville Inn and Golf Club that we currently are in with right now. Yet the event is going to be where we really make an impact to be able to raise more money for the program. So I think our goal right now is to have bigger events so that we include others that maybe don't play golf. It's just the golf is the pathway to get to the event in order to really provide care and money back to the programs, and allowing these sponsors to have a voice in a part of the community that helps so many families. So,
do we have those same needs at the high school? We certainly do. We have a ever-growing homeless situation. We have an ever-growing mental health issue with kids and their families. And, you know, if I were to say anything, it would be to continue the work you've begun, continue to build and grow the partnerships you have, and look to address community ills with kids at an older age and within the family in those areas, the homeless situation where those exist, and looking at the mental health needs of kids. Because more and more it is important that we serve kids in a way that is positive and supportive, because, you know, families are disintegrating before our eyes. Healthy, trusting relationships for our kids are fleeting quickly. And so continuing the work that's already established there with a larger group would be spot on with what the needs are.
Thank y'all so much. Thanks for everybody who's helped support our program either financially, or a lot of these community partners have helped us grow our program and our programming that we're able to do. And you know, over the course of the years, as our program continues to grow, it always starts with relationships. Those relationships we see with each one of these students as they walk through our doors, as we get to see the needs they have, we try to meet in different ways. And if we've watched some of these young people continue to grow and move up into the high school level, we're seeing another need. So much so that we've piloted a program for a high school after-school program to try to meet some of these needs of students who have been through our program before. So thank y'all for your support, not just keeping our program going, but a support that's helping us to dream big and to make sure that every student in Hayward County has a place to go after school. So thank y'all for being a part of this.